That's it. That is the first board on the side and the edge. And I must say, I am super happy with that. The gap's perfect. Really, really nice. Put the clips on here. So now I just need to start putting the boards on. Great. Right, been going a couple of hours now, and it's starting to look good. Board spacing is great. Really happy with this. Very easy to fit. Takes a bit of time, but not difficult. Once all the boards have been fitted on the front, then I will cut along here so I can fit the front edge. Right, so I'm about halfway now, and I must say I'm super happy with the results so far. So as you can see, it's perfectly level with the halfway point, which is a result, because otherwise it could have been a bit of a skew. So I will hopefully finish at least this side, putting the boards on tomorrow. We will see. Well, it's been raining overnight, and there is some standing water on the decking. The instructions do say, first off, to have 30 centimetres between each joist, which I've done, and secondly, to have a slight angle for runoff. Now, I reused the existing decking frame, so I haven't got an angle for runoff, so the water's going to sit there. Oh well. Right, now I'm at the halfway point. I have just laid the boards, butted them up against each other. What I wanted to do was to measure this gap here. I know that my slab isn't quite square, so this gap here is 115 mil, and this one here is 105 mil. What I need to do is to lose approximately 10 mil across all of these boards, so essentially having a slightly wider gap at the front. So I laid this board out so it's perfectly parallel to the edge, and then spaced the rest of the boards out, and you know what, I don't think we can even see the difference. So to lose my slight variation, what I'm doing is I'm just not tapping these as hard in. One side yes, but the other side just half a mil, maybe a mil proud. So I will lose that gap pretty quickly. Getting close to the end now. The gap at the end, the front is 84, and at the back it's 80. So I've managed to lose quite a bit. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to lose about a mil on each one of the final 4 boards. Right, back on it this morning, and hopefully going to finish off maybe today, maybe tomorrow. First things first, fit the edge bit on here. So the edge bar fitted, albeit not finally, not all properly secured down, I can now measure my gap all the way along, which is nice and consistent. And now what I need to do is I need to cut a slither which is going to fit in here. Now clearly, if I just chopped the end off, I would only have one piece of plastic supporting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it here. So then I will have 2 pieces of plastic, and then I can just drill into the sides and then put these supports, clips in the sides. That's the plan, anyway. Right, so I've prepared this. I've made sure that my cut distance is consistent all the way along. Use a bit of vernier. And then 33 mil, which is the distance that I need, will slightly narrow this side of this vertical support, and when I do the other side it'll slightly narrow that one as well. So let's cut it along, see how I get on. So here it is. 33mm all the way along. As you can see, on both sides we have the solid edge. Now a box section, let's see if it fits. Right, the holes are cut. Let's see if it fits. So that's done. It's in, and I must say, I'm super impressed. I think I've done a superb job, and took the opportunity just to miter the edge there a little bit. Now I've got to do one edge board and then one trimmed edge board, I think, on this side. So I mitered the end off this one. I've drilled 4 holes straight through the decking board and into the concrete base, which I've now drilled out and put rule plugs in. So hopefully I'll be able to find them. So there's 4 of those. I'll chop this to the right length here, making sure that it fits here. So let's fit it and see if I've done that okay. So that side one's on. It's touching the mud at this end, and there's a bit of a gap at this end, so might need to make a bit of a filler in the end there. First disappointment of the project is that I bought these coloured screws, but they're not long enough, so I've had to use my own countersunk screws. They don't look super ugly, but not what I paid for. Right, the next job is the one that I've been dreading, which is to cut all the way along here. Now that I know exactly how much distance I need from here to have a good gap at the edge, then that's the gap that I will use. Measure it several times, cut once. So of course my base is not quite square, it's actually in 2 halves. So what I've done is I've put this in the set square so it's flat and it butts up against the edge here. And what I've done is I've laid that all the way from here, halfway point, all the way to there, and that is perfectly square or perfectly straight across now the front of the decking. Now what I'm going to do is, this is far too far out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test cut just here and then just remeasure it and see exactly how far further in the this straight edge needs to be. So the inside edge here is exactly the edge of the frame. This distance between here and here is how far I want it inset from the frame. So in theory, and this is the edge, the distance of the cut at the moment, so with a little basic bit of maths I can work out exactly how much I need to move my my straight edge in by. Right, I must have measured it about 20 times now. I've actually now done a little bit of test cut here, and I can see it's exactly aligned with my marks. One here, and one here. So here I go. So how did I do? Pretty much, whoops, on proper. Yeah, pretty much perfect, I would say. Wonderful. the other side now. So it's done. The edge is very straight, perfectly lines up with the edge board, so I'm really happy with that. I've got a few things to finish off here. Obviously this one couldn't quite finish off, but and this one here I need to cut off as well. So I'm thinking maybe I can use my Dremel with a little cutting wheel to just nick the edge off. I'll give that a go. Right, the Dremel did its job and I was able to tidy up these corners here and at this end. Next job is to mitre these edges. Right, it's clamped in place, so ready to cut. Mitre's done. 1, 2. Next job, finish this off with the Dremel. Right, I need to stop for the day. I've put the front boards on, mitred both ends, good gaps. So yeah, pretty happy. Right, hopefully the final day today. First thing to do is to put these corner bits on both ends. That's the 2 corner posts in. That one. This one required a bit of customization to get it round the concrete in the bottom there. Right. Next step. Let's get the front boards on. Right, that is in position. Using a bit of leverage to lift it into the right position. I think what we really need is a one-sided clip so that you can push the clip up and then it doesn't have the downward as well. So like a starter clip, but an ending clip. Because this, I'm not going to be able to get another one in the bottom. I'm just going to have to screw the bottom bit in. So I made my own. I cut the extra tab off, and now I have my own end clips. Right, the front is on. Did have to get out the SDS drill to get through some of that concrete. Don't know why I haven't bothered before. Went through it like butter, of course. Right, so that's on. Now I need to do is just a strip down the bottom and a strip down here, just to infill here. Right, cut my piece here to go in this gap here. So let's get that fitted. I did want to put clips underneath this bit, but the base of the concrete is so crumbly I had to go with screws. So anyway, that'll have to do. The front is done. Had to dig it out a little bit. Screwed on, all secure, job done. Final job then is just to add the skirtings at the side. Well, I've just fitted these bits of beading along here and on the other side. So I'm going to call that done. Absolutely filthy as a result of all the rain last weekend, but I'm really happy with the results. I think it looks really good. So that is the end of this video.